Rise up, Rapids. We got another installment of the meet performance highlights that are coming to you from the 9 to 12 district meet that was held at Nova Virginia Aquatics. First off, I got to give an extra shout out to Nova for once again hosting a really fantastic meet. You guys do a great job. You're professional. You make it exciting for the kids with the hot heats and the finals and whatnot. So thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Speaking of awesome, we had some guests that came and joined us over the weekend. And I got to give them shout outs because it's really great whenever we have people that maybe are not in the swim meet but are coming to support our athletes, and we just love that. So Vincent Wynn and his dad Twan, they actually came out. Vincent's 13, but he swam at the region championship meet. But he and his father came out and supported the teammates and actually got down and counted for them in the long distance races, and it was awesome. And the other one is Adam Kennedy. And Adam is our CEO at Swim RVA, and he'd probably be terribly embarrassed for me to point out that he was there. But I think it's a really cool deal when the person who's running all of Swim RVA takes the time out of his Saturday to come visit and cheer on the Rapid swimmers. So Adam, we love having you there. By all means, come back any other time. We did have a couple of athletes who kind of went above and beyond what was originally expected of them. Caleb Kazinajad and then Aurelia Hassler. Both of them were swimming 1 or 2 days, and they did an amazing job on those days that they were there. But they were also two of our faster swimmers who we really needed for relays on a Sunday evening, and neither of them were racing on Sunday. So I just wanted to give both of them a shout out for coming out on Sunday and racing and really making our relays special. In fact, Caleb on his relay, he split so fast it helped the boys get second overall, and Aurelia helped the girls swim in the team record in the 200 medley relay. So thank you guys for coming out and going above and beyond. I do want to give an extra shout out and some attention to a young man named James Bland. He's one of our 11-year-olds who plays a lot of other sports. He plays football all throughout the season. You know, he's only been able to come to maybe 1 or 2 practices a week. And I've been just explaining to him throughout the season, you know, be patient with it. You got best time here and there. I know he wants more best times. And then I said, don't worry, you pick up your practices and it's going to be there at the time when you need it. Sure enough, James swam out of his mind and even was the top seed in the 50 breaststroke going into finals after getting his age group champs cut. So if you ever need an example of someone who was patient with it and trusted the process, go talk to James Bland because he knows what's going on, and he's going to be going to age group champs now. So good job, James. Another swimmer that I think deserves some extra recognition is a young man named Jace Hollinger. Now, Jace was kind of stuck in no man's land because he had just the perfectly awkward birthday that made him too fast to swim in the district championships. It made him too young to swim in the 13 and over championships the weekend later, and it made him not be able to swim in the 11 and 12s for the age group championships. So what they do with those rare situations is they let those swimmers go and compete at the district championships, but as an exhibition swimmer who doesn't get awards and doesn't get finals. So as you can imagine, Jace being one of the fastest 12-year-olds in the state, he might go into this meet, you know, being a little bit ho-hum about it, and it's hard to get excited, but he did not. Jace went into it, and even though he knew he was only going to swim in the mornings, he lit it up all weekend long, swimming a lot of best times and great team records. So Jace, I'm really proud of you for sticking to it and finishing your season off strong as one of the best 12-year-olds this program's ever going to see. We did have a few situations of athletes bouncing back. There's different types of adversity that you're going to go through. This time of season, I'm sure parents, what's the number one thing that comes to mind that kids got to bounce back from? Sickness, right? Everybody's got the flu, everybody's got the crud that sticks with you for a couple of weeks. And we were not immune to that by any means. We had a lot of athletes that were sick. One of them in particular was a young man named Colin Kelly. He's had a hard time staying healthy over the last month and a half. And in spite of that, he continued to come back to practice whenever he could. And even all the way up until Friday of the meet, he was sick with the flu and couldn't make it, and came back on Saturday and bounced back with a vengeance. He was a huge part of our relays. He made finals, and even by Sunday, he almost made age group champs. He only missed the cut by a 1/10 of a second. He's still at the bottom of his age group. So, Colin, good job bouncing back, and we look forward to having you healthy throughout the rest of the season. We did have a lot of athletes who qualified for age group champs. I think when you read the meet article, you hear me talk about us being a volcano that was just about to explode, and we did. We erupted with age group champs. But for every swimmer that we got that earned a cut, we had another 1 or 2 swimmers that were just off of their cuts, and they worked really hard throughout the season, and they maybe fell short in their minds. So I just wanted to remind all of those athletes that you guys are absolutely amazing, and don't worry about whether you got a cut or not, because you've improved so much, and we want to focus on that. In spite of that, you know, everybody knows that. It's still really difficult to accept it in the moment when you work so hard for it and you fell just short. And any words that I say, you know, might go in one ear and out the other with some of the athletes. But the thing I was most proud of was all of our other rapid swimmers, whether it was the ones that got cuts or ones that were also dealing with their own adversity. We visibly saw them put their arm around each other, cheer each other up, remind them how good they were, and do all the things that the parents and coaches do, but it means so much more when it comes from the athletes. So all of you that lifted up a teammate throughout the weekend that maybe fell a little bit short of what their goal time, even though they went a best time, thank you guys. Please doing that. That's exactly what being a part of Swim RBA is all about. And finally, let's give an extra shout out to a young man named Brandon Williams. He's one of our 10 and under swimmers. Not that long ago, I think it was about a month ago, in practice, Brandon was worried that he was going to swim a 100 fly, and so we had him swim one because he had a ton of fear. Well, Brandon joined the No Fear Fly Club because he swam the 100 fly, at practice realized it's not that bad, then he went to the district championships and swam his first official 100 fly, and he went straight to the BB time. For a 10-year-old to have never swam it and go a BB time first time doing it is really insane. So Brandon, way to go from bouncing back from having fear of the fly to realizing there's nothing to fear and then being really, really fast. We're really proud of you. So anyway, lots of great things that happened from the district championships. We swam great. We had a lot of fun. Our parents were rowdy as ever. And we look forward to sharing with you more about the region championships coming up next. Have a great day.